Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about one trick that has really helped me lately when it comes to procrastinating. So I'm just going to get right into it because no one likes waffle. Let's think about why we procrastinate first of all, which is, I don't know about you, but it normally is whenever I think about procrastinating a task or anything like that, there's normally a little voice in the back of my mind that goes, yeah, you can do it later, there's no problem. That can be done later and there'll be no stress with it. You know, you don't think about all the consequences of doing that. It's just a very ideal thing, isn't it? You just think, oh yeah, well I can relax now and then I'll do it later when I'm ready, when I'm more prepared, blah blah blah. The problem is that later never comes. Later is like tomorrow, it never, you know, the whole saying about tomorrow never comes, it's always in the future, it's always one step ahead of us. Later never actually arrives. We need to decide when that later is. Think about it, how many things have you told yourself, oh I'll do that tomorrow? But then you actually never get around to doing it, and it might be a day, week, month, or even years later and it's still not done because you always keep saying that you'll do it in the future, in the near future as well. It's not like you say, oh I'll do that in like a year's time. No, you promise yourself you're going to do it within the next week and it never happens. We like to think that in that future, in that next week, an older, maybe more wiser, more organised version of you is going to tackle that subject better, and that's why we want to procrastinate it, because we don't feel equipped now. We feel like sluggish or we just can't be bothered, but the future you that's going to do that task, they're going to be on it, they're going to be actually productive, they're going to plan it, they're going to get it done. That's what you imagine, or that's certainly what I imagine. I imagine this future self that's doing it to be so much more productive, and it's almost as if I think, well, when I'm feeling that productive, I'll do it. So when I become that future self, I'll do that. But as we've just said, the future self never really arrives because the future is always the future. It never catches up with us. Pretty mind-boggling, to be fair, because tomorrow is never like tomorrow. You don't say, oh, it's tomorrow now, do you? No. What I'm trying to say is, in order to actually get those tasks done and not procrastinate, we need to become that future self. That's the only way we're going to do it. The only way I'm going to do a certain task is by actually convincing myself I am that future person and I am ready to do that task, and I'm not too tired and I'm not too sluggish and I can't leave it till later, because that future self is now. That's what I tell myself. I need to become that person. So alright, we've established that we need to become that future self, but how would you actually do that? Because right now you feel really sluggish and you want to become really productive, but it's not just as easy as going, let's be productive. It just doesn't happen, does it? When you're convinced, like, how hard is it to get out of bed? It's really, really hard, especially when it's nice and warm and it's cold outside in your room and you're just like, no, I would rather stay here in my comfort zone and just pretend that I don't need to get up and do something else. The one thing that's helped me become more like that future self, you're always evolving and you're always not like the ideal, are you? But the one thing that's really helped me is having perspective. So, for example, I finally went for a run this morning. It has taken me over a year of procrastinating to actually get to the point of running, and it wasn't even a run, it was a run walk. I downloaded the Catch the 10K app and I'm just like, right, day one, let's do that. It was such little effort to download it, and actually I enjoyed the run this morning, but it took me a year of procrastinating to actually get to that point. And the reason why I finally did it was because I had perspective, and I thought, well, realistically, if I just keep saying, like, I'll do it next week, I'll do it tomorrow, it's never going to come. I had perspective and I was like, right, well, I've got an hour. Well, that hour is really important because that hour will start that habit. And now I already feel more motivated to do another run. I might go after school one day and it won't be this big monumentous task because I've already done it. I've already started like the chain reaction. And think about how important 1 hour, half an hour, an evening, a day can be in terms of getting your goals done. You can literally change the path of where you're going in an hour, in a minute, because of that decision that you make. If I had decided, oh, I'll stay in bed and watch more of Shane Dawson's series for a half an hour, then I wouldn't have gone for the run and I'd still be stuck in this cycle of saying I'll do it tomorrow. But I actually got out, finally, and like I said, it's took me a year to actually get here, so it doesn't happen overnight. But hopefully you can kind of think, well, do you know what, let's start, let's do something. And that's the rule that I've trying to be following, is I'll just start and I'll just do something, because doing something is better than doing nothing, obviously. So yes, I said I went for a run, but in actual fact I did 8 minutes of actual running and the rest was brisk walk. but it started something. So next time I might do 10 minutes of running or 15 minutes of running, and it'll build up, won't it? Just by promising yourself you'll do something to get towards your goals, that will start the snowballing process. So when you're feeling so sluggish and you're not feeling that energetic person that you want to be in order to get those goals done, a sluggish person can still do a minute's worth of work. So even if, like, today I so nearly didn't do my painting for art because I was already an hour behind schedule. I'd like planned out my day the day before, and it was so easy for me to just sit there and go, well, I can't get it up because once I've like got all my paints out and got all set up, then I've only got 15 minutes of painting, and what's that really gonna do? But again, I thought, well, actually, in perspective, that 15 minutes could do a lot. If you think about how long it's taken me to already start painting, I've actually only done maybe half an hour of painting on this piece and it looks pretty good already. So doing another 15 minutes could surely do something. And again, I've done something and I've got that little bit closer towards my goals. So just taking tiny chunks off a task can make that snowballing process start occurring and make things in the future seem a lot easier. And then you'll be less likely to procrastinate that task because you know that, okay, well, if I just do little chunks at a time, you don't need to do that entire essay at one point. That might be why you're procrastinating it. But if you do 20 minutes of that essay, that's a lot harder to procrastinate because it's just 20 minutes and not 3 hours. Now I look back at it, the same like happened with my running. The reason why I stopped procrastinating was because I looked at the plan that the app had given me, and it had said run walk, and I was like, oh, I can do that, because I thought I had to go out and run half an hour straight when that would never be possible. So you need to build yourself up to it, don't you? And the thing is that a lot of times when you actually start doing something, you don't almost want to stop, depending on what the task is. I know some tasks are a bit like, yeah, okay, I can stop now. But some of them, like the painting, I had to tell myself to stop because I had something else to do. So once you actually get going, it's a lot easier to carry on. It's just that initial start. So promise me, if you haven't already, tick something off of your to-do list, or even start something on your to-do list, because that's going to make you feel a lot better than just looking at a long list of things. Another thing I've just remembered, social media. Now I have recently got into the habit of waking up and going on my phone immediately and checking all of the social medias, and that already set my mindset as more of the sluggish person that I didn't exactly want to be, but I couldn't help it because it was there. So I used a app blocker, literally just scheduled it so I couldn't go on any social medias until a certain time and past a certain time. So say I've set mine for 10 to 7, so basically I can't go on it in my hours that I want to be sleeping for school and actually getting ready. So I get up at 6, so I have an hour where I literally can't go on the social media. So I've got an hour to get myself in that mindset of becoming more proactive, and so I already start chipping away at my to-do list because I've got nothing else to do. So be proactive in terms of your limits. So I knew that I couldn't just give up social media just by not having it, just by telling myself, oh yeah, I'm not going to go on that, because it never happens. So using that app blocker, using external sources can actually really help. Speaking of that, actually booking something. So say I wasn't going to go for a run, or I wasn't going to go swimming, or I wasn't going to do a workout until I said, hey Dad, do you want to go and do a swim with me or something like that? And then because you've got someone else doing it, you don't want to let them down, so you're more likely to go there. Just thought those two things, and I thought I'd put them in at the end of the video. On to the outro now. That future you is created out of discomfort. Think about it, you're never going to get anywhere when you're sat in your bed in all nice and warm in your comfort zone. You can't really run a marathon lying down, can you? So you need to get up and get out and do something and actually be proactive towards your goals in order to start becoming that future person. So craft that future you, see what they do, and start implementing one thing into your day each day and slowly build it up. That's what it is. You can't just tackle one huge task in one go. Build it up, and that's why, hopefully, I will continue to not procrastinate as much as I already do. It's a slow process, and we all do it occasionally. Don't beat yourself up if one day you decide to watch some movies or something. That's not procrastinating. But constantly delaying important tasks throughout the week, that's where it becomes difficult. So I hope this video has helped you. If it has, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!